Assalamualaikum. Today we start the Unit 9, Pulp Cavities in the Fuller, and the Chapter 13, in Villus. Most important chapter. हमारे ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हमारे ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या हैं कि इस यूनिट को कंप्लीट करने के बाद आपके नॉलेज में क्या होना चाहिए. वो वन इज द डिफाइन एनी ऑफ द एनाटॉमिकल टर्म्स relating to the pulp or selecting the correct definition. Our application therefore form a list when given the term or a description or application of a term. These the main functions of the verb are differentiate between them by selecting the correct response from a list when given the functions or any of its applications. Third is the describe or choose the correct response from a list when concerning the changes which occur in the pulp and pulp cavity due to the treatment, aging, or pathology. Differentiate between the various pulp sections by describing or selecting the correct response from a list regarding their feasibility by X-rays or any of their advantages or disadvantages. Identify from a diagram or written descriptions of any of the common sections of the pulp cavity which permanent to this being described a diagram. Knowledge of the normal pulp anatomy and morphology for all the individual permanent teeth by describing, selecting the correct response from a list, or making comparisons among the permanent teeth when given a description of the anatomical feature. Anatomy and morphology include numbers, locations, shapes, outlines, relative thickness, and lengths of pulp cavities, pulp horns, pulp chambers, pulp floors, orifices, pulp canals, and apical foramina in any of the common sections are views. Knowledge of the commonly observed differences from normal pulp morphology for any of the individual permanent teeth by describing them for any tooth or group of teeth, or by selecting the correct response from a list when given the normal anatomy or deviations from normal. Let's start the pulp cavities. The pulp tissue and pulp cavity. What is the pulp tissue and pulp cavity? है क्या? Anatomy of the pulp cavity. The pulp tissue is the soft connective tissue which is found in the central portion of the tooth, entirely surrounded by dentine. The cavity or space which the pulp tissue is located is divided into the following anatomical entities. Number one is the pulp cavity, pulp chamber, pulp canals, pulp horns. Cavity or space in which the pulp tissue, okay, is located divided into the following anatomical structures. Number one is the pulp cavity. पल्प कैविटी के अंदर कौन कौन से स्ट्रक्चर्स एनाटॉमिकल स्ट्रक्चर्स प्रेजेंट होंगे. नंबर वन इज द पल्प कैविटी, सेकंड इज द पल्प चैम्बर, थर्ड इज द पल्प कैनाल्स एंड पल्प हॉर्न्स. Apical foramen, lateral accessory canals, supplementary canals, anastomosis. Eight structures are present in the cavity. Number one is the pulp cavity. Pulp cavity है क्या? The pulp cavity is the entire central space in the dentine of a tooth. This is the pulp cavity. Both root and crowns, which contains the pulp tissue in a vital tooth. The outline of the pulp cavity generally corresponds to the external contour of the tooth, especially in newly erected teeth. Each size and contour in any individual tooth is related to the extent that normal physiological aging has occurred. External factors such as pathology and occlusion have stimulated secondary dentin production. Number second, pulp chamber. The portion of the pulp cavity which is located roughly in the anatomical crown of the tooth. It is normally larger in diameter than any portions of the pulp cavity found in roots. Third is the pulp canals. The section of the pulp cavity which is located basically in the anatomical root of the tooth, or in other words, that portion which is apical to the pulp chamber. Another term which is the appropriate is root canal. This is the pulp chamber. This is the enamel, dentine, pulp chamber. This is the root canal. This is the accessory canals, root and opening. Okay. This portion is root. This portion is the round enamel. Pulpons. The pulpons are the pointed incisal occlusal rivets of the pulp cavity and pulp chamber, which actually look like horns in many cases. They often reflect the lobe and cusp pattern of a tooth's crown. Number 5, apical foramen. The constricted opening that are near the root apex through which the main nutrient and nervous supply to the pulp enter and exist. The apical foramen is thus the apical limit of the pulp cavity. Lateral accessory canals, minute canals which usually extend in a lateral or roughly horizontal direction from the pulp to the periodontal membrane. They are most often found in the apical half of the root and are a minor source of nutrient supply or to the pulp. Number 7, supplementary canals, a root canal or branch which is in excess of the normal number of root canals found in a root. They serve the same functions as the main root canals but are not present in all teeth. Anastomosis, an extracanal branch which horizontally connects pulp canals with each other or with supplementary canals. Okay. This is the root canal, veins, nerves, arteries. This is the apical foramen. This one, apical foramen. This is the pulp, pulp chamber. This is the pulp horns. This is the pulp horns. Physiology of the pulp tissue. The pulp tissue functions in four major capacities are for the dental organ. Number one is the formation of dentine. The dentinogenesis process is the function of the odontoblasts, which are cells that differentiate from the peripheral portion of the pulp. Formation of dentine, the primary dentine is normally laid down only during the period of tooth formation and ends when root development is complete. The pulp is still capable of initiating the formation of secondary dentine at any time during the rest of its life in both primary and permanent teeth. There are two types of tertiary dentine, reparative and physiological, which differ from each other histologically and form primary dentine both macroscopically, mainly colored, and microscopically. Reparative dentine forms in response to acute or chronic irritants such as caries, thermal and function trauma, and mechanical causes. In reality, this is a defensive and protective mechanism. Physiological secondary dentine may be deposited in a rather consistent and uniform manner as a normal phenomena of the aging process. Second is the nutrition. What is the formation of dentine? Second is the nutrition. This function maintains pulpal vitality and is carried on by blood and lymph vessels found in the pulp tissue. Their entrance and access to the pulp cavity is chiefly through the apical foramen. There is some auxiliary supply from the periodontal membrane. Third is the sensation. The nerve tissue found in the pulp is responsible for relaying sensation to the brain centers. Not only do pain sensations occur, but the sensory function of the entire masticatory mechanism is coordinated. What is the defense and protection? The pulp is capable of responding to an irritant such as progressive caries through inflammation, which is the classic defense mechanism of the body. The process may eventually result in the differentiation of odontoblasts and the formation of reparative secondary dentine. पल्प कैनाल्स डेवलपमेंट, पहले क्या है आपने पल्प फंक्शंस पढ़े, अब नेक्स्ट क्या है पल्प कैनाल्स डेवलपमेंट. Early in the development of the root, the pulp canals is funnel shaped at the root apex with the greatest width of the funnel at the apex. Consequently, during much of the period of root development, the pulp canal is widest in diameter at the apex. The completion of apical portion of the root continues with the primary dentine deposition and the funnel-shaped opening is filled in until only a small opening, the apical foramen, is present. This is the point in time when root and root canals development are considered to be complete. Pulp changes in the pulp cavity with age. The pulp tissues maintains the capacity to produce dentine as long as the pulp remains vital. This is a secondary dentine as contrast to primary dentine produced during tooth development. Secondary dentine production reduces the dimensions of the pulp cavity, which may be either in the form of a general reduction in size are specific to an area of stimulation. This is a reparative area. In the young tooth, the pulp horns are prominent elongations of the pulp chamber. With age, these extensions are often blunted and sometimes even obliterated, so that the teeth of older individuals may be exhibit pulp horns. The same is true of the remainder of the pulp cavity, so that as the tooth ages, the pulp cavity normally decreases in size. Now we discuss the pulp cavities of the individual permanently. Maxillary incisors. Pulp chamber is located in the center of the crown. It usually follows contours of crown, has three pulp horns corresponding to mamelons in a young teeth. Division between root canal and pulp chamber is indistinct. Maxillary central incisor has one root with one root canal. Root canal is large, conical, and simple in outline and centrally rotated. Root canals follows direction of curved roots. Lateral canals may present in 24% of cases in apical third region. But it is a section, four sections. Number one is the labiolingual section. Second is the mesiodistal section. Third is the cervical section. And fourth is the mid-root cross section. हर tooth के four sections होंगे. Number one is the labiolingual sections. ठीक है, labial side और lingual section. In labiolingual section, the pulp chamber at the incisor extremity, the pulp chamber is pointed and usually thickness to its widest point at about the mid-cingulum level. The labial outline is slightly convex, while on the lingual there is huge, which corresponds to the external contour of the cingulum. This is the labiolingual section. Pulp canals form approximately the cervical line. The outline of the single pulp canal tapers evenly to the apical foramen, generally following the contours of the root. The foramen is quite constricted except in young teeth. Second is the mesiodistal section. Pulp chamber in mesiodistal section. From this aspect, the chamber outline is widest at the incisal and tapers fairly evenly to the apical line level. The three pulp horns corresponding to the three labial lobes are prominent and pointed in young central incisors. Laterals have two or none. In some specimens, there is a slight mesiodistal widening at the cervical line. The mesiodistal dimension of the pulp chamber is generally greater than the labiolingual dimension. Pulp canals from the cervical line, the pulp canals outline tapers rather evenly to the constricted apical foramen, again following the external root contour. That is the cervical cross section. In newly erupted centrals, the pulp outline may be somewhat triangular, like the root outline, but with age, the outline becomes generally circular. The outline for the lateral incisor is round at all edges. And fourth, mid-root cross section in central incisor. At this level, the pulp outline of the tooth, both maxillary incisors is rounded. Next is the maxillary lateral incisor. Pulp chamber is similar but smaller than that of the maxillary central incisor. It has two pulp horns corresponding to mamelons. Broadest part is situated incisely. Root canal is conical, finer than central incisor. In cross section, canal is ovate labiopalately. Lateral canals occur more frequently than central incisors, approximately 26%. Maxillary canine. The pulp cavity is similar in many respects to that of the maxillary incisors. The major differences are the pulp chamber width to be greater labiolingually than mesodistally, the opposite of the incisors. In fact, the pulp cavity of the maxillary canine has the greatest facial-lingually width of any interior teeth. This tooth has the longest root in the mouth. It follows that the root canal is also longest. Labiolingual section, pulp chamber, the pulp outline is pointed incisely and widens to the mid-cingulum level, similar to that of the incisors. Labial margins normally slightly convex and there may be a slight bulging lingually in the cingulum area. Pointed incisor becomes rounded with age. This is a labiolingual section, this one. Pulp canal, root of this tooth is wider labiolingually than that of the incisors. The pulp canal is also wider in this dimension. At the apical third level, the canal becomes greatly constricted, although the foramen size is still larger than that of the incisors. Mesodistal section. In this section, the pulp cavity differs from the incisors, from the pointed and slightly rounded incisor limit. The outline increases to the greatest width near the cervical line level. There are no pulp horns as in the incisors, but the somewhat pointed incisor limit does correspond to the single cusp. Its narrowest dimension is at the incisor. Pulp canals from the cervical line to the about the apical third level. The canal outline is about the same width, but in the apical third it tapers to the single foramen. Cervical cross section. The root is wide and wider labiolingually is the pulp outline at this level. At this level, the pulp outline is less wide and in occasions is nearly circular. Next is the maxillary first premolar. Maxillary first premolar has a pulp chamber which is considerably wider facially than mesodistally. Is the only premolar which is with two roots in majority of cases. Maybe this is why there is a wide variation in pulp canal morphology. Occasionally, the chamber outline reveals two prominent pulp horns representing the two cusps and appropriately named buccal and lingual. The buccal horn is usually larger and there is a concavity in outline between the two horns. From the pulp horn area, the chamber maintains a similar width to its floor, which is most often just apical to the cervical line. This is a buccolingual section. Pulp chambers from the floor of the pulp chamber, the two root canals taper evenly to their apices. The lingual canal is usually slightly wider, even though the lingual root is most often smaller than the buccal root. Mesodistal section per chamber, the mesial outline is quite similar to that of the maxillary canine. although they're shorter and slightly narrow. Pulp canals, the outline is also similar to that of the canine, only the buccal canal is visible from the buccal spike. And likewise, only the lingual canal can be seen in a section through the lingual part of the tooth. Cervical cross section, the tooth outlines at the level is wider buccolingually and is normally somewhat kidney shaped because of the tooth's mesial concavity, and the pulp outline follows that of the tooth. Xerifus premolar exhibits two orifices in most cases, with the lingual orifices being slightly larger in size. Mesodistal sections in the pulp chamber, the mesodistal outline is quite similar to that of the maxillary canine, although it is shorter and slightly narrow. Pulp canals, this outline is also similar to that of the canine, only the buccal canal is visible from the buccal spike, and likewise only the lingual canal can be seen in a section through the lingual part of the tooth. Cervical cross-section, the root outlines at this level is wider buccolingually and normally somewhat kidney-shaped because of the tooth's mesial concavity, and the pulp outline follows the root. Mixariferous premolars exhibit two roots orifices in most cases, with the lingual orifices being slightly larger in size. Orifices defined um, orifices is defined as the opening in the floor of the pulp chamber where a root canal exists. Okay, orifices क्या है? Orifices is defined as the opening in the floor of the pulp chamber where a root canal, जहाँ पर पल्प चैम्बर के फ्लोर में जहाँ से रूट कैनाल एग्जिस्ट होती है वहाँ पर जो आपको स्ट्रक्चर या ओपनिंग नजर आती है, दिस इज कॉल्ड द orifice. Mid cross section, at this level the two root outlines and their respective canals are both generally round, with the lingual canal normally slightly larger in diameter. Maxillary second premolar pulp chamber is wider in comparison to the maxillary first premolar. Two pulp horns are present, one buccal and one palatal. Floor of pulp is deeper when compared to the maxillary first premolar. Usually one canal is present. When two canals occur, they are distinct and separated along the outline of root. Maxillary second premolars lateral canals present in 59.5% of cases. Orifices, two orifices are present. Buccal orifice beneath buccal cusp and palatal beneath the palatal cusp. Maxillary first molar. The upper chamber of maxillary first molar is the largest in dental arch. It consists of four pulp horns. Four cusps are present. No, four pulp horns. It consists of four pulp horns: mesiobuccal, distobuccal, mesiopalatal, and distopalatal. The pulp chamber of maxillary first molar is largest in dental arch. The arrangement of four pulp horns give the pulp roof a rhomboidal shape in cross section. MCQs में ये questions most important. Arrangement of pulp horns give the pulp roof a rhomboidal shape. ठीक है, इन क्रॉस सेक्शन में क्या होगा कि पल्प चैम्बर या पल्प रूफ जो है वो rhomboidal shape होगा. Mesiobuccal canal is divided to form second canal in 22% of cases. Maxillary first molar distobuccal canal is narrow, tapering, and cone-shaped. The palatal canal is wide and tapers towards the apex. Most important for MCQs. Orifices of root canals are located in three angles of floor. Palatal orifices, largest, round, are oval in shape. Mesiobuccal orifice is located below mesiobuccal cusp. Distobuccal orifice is located distally and parallel to mesiobuccal orifice. Lateral canals present in root 45%, present in the trifurcation area 18%. Maxillary second molar pulp chamber has four pulp horns. Chamber is narrow mesiodistally than the maxillary first molar. Roof of pulp chamber is more rhomboidal than maxillary first molar. If buccal roots fuse to form one buccal root tooth, maybe have only two canals, one buccal and one palatal. This is the buccolingual, mesiodistal, cervically, cross sections, mid cross sections. Maxillary second molar orifices of three root canals are located in three angles of root. Sometimes three orifices may be in a straight line. Lateral canals present in roots and furcation areas lesser in number than first molars. Maxillary third molar pulp chamber is usually similar to that of the maxillary second molar with three canal orifices. Sometimes it may also have an H-shaped chamber with four or five root canals, orifices, or a conical chamber with only one root canal. Orifices, three orifices present, but there may be an odd-shaped chamber with four or five root canal orifices. Maxillary pulp chambers complete and no strata mandibular teeth. Mandibular incisors, central incisor, pulp chamber is small and flared mesodistally. Three distinct pulp horns are present in recently erected tooth. Usually one root with one canal is present. Canal is broad in cervical and middle third of root and tapers gradually towards the apex. Canal appears ribbon shaped in middle third. Lateral canals present in 20% of cases. Mandibular lateral incisor pulp chamber is larger. One root with one canal is normally present. Double root canal may be present at apex. Two distinct pulp horns are present. Lateral canals present in 18% of cases. This is the lateral incisor. Mandibular canine pulp chamber is narrow than of canine. Only one pulp horn is present. No distinct demarcation is present between pulp chamber and root canal. It has usually one canal existing in a one apical foramen. Lateral canals present in 30% of cases. Mandibular first premolar. Pulp chamber is narrow mesodistally while wider buccolingually. Buccal pulp horn is prominent. Chamber is wide when seen in cross section. Usually one canal is present which is bone Shape and simple outline 70% cases. Lateral canals present in 44.3% cases. Mandibular second premolar. Lingual horn is more prominent when compared to the mandibular first premolar. Usually one canal exists in apical foramen, but in some roots, a single canal may be bifurcated existing in two foramina. Rarely two or three roots may be present. Lateral canals may be present in 48.3% cases. Mandibular first molar. Roof of pulpal chamber has four pulp horns and often rectangular in shape. Floor of pulp chamber is rhomboidal in shape. Mesial root has two canals, while distal canal has one canal. This is a mandibular premolar. Mandibular first molar orifices, three distal orifices are present in pulp floor, namely mesiobuccal, mesiolingual, and distal. Mesiobuccal orifices is under mesiobuccal cusp. Mesiolingual orifices is located in depression formed by mesial and lingual walls. Distal orifice is oval in shape. Lateral canals present in furcation. Furcation area 23%, mesial root 45%, distal root 55%. Mandibular second molar pulp chamber is similar than that of the mandibular first molar. Three root canals are usually present. There may be only two canals present in some cases. In cross section, all the three canals are present, small and ovoid in cervical and middle third and rounded in apical third. This is a buccolingual, distal cross section, mid cross section. Mandibular second molar orifices, root canal orifices are similar and closer together. Lateral canals present in a mesial root 49%, in distal root 34%, furcation 11%. Mandibular third molar pulp chamber anatomically resembles the pulp chamber of mandibular first and second molar, but somewhat larger. Usually two roots and two canals are present, but occasionally one root and one canal or three roots or three canals may be present. Orifices process large pulp chamber and three orifices, namely mesiobuccal, mesiolingual, and distal. Sometimes a C-shaped root canals orifices may also be formed. This is a pulp calcification. ठीक है पल्प के अंदर क्या कैल्सिफिकेशन हो सकती हैं क्या डिजीजेस हो सकती हैं इट इज़ नॉट अनकॉमन टू फाइंड कैल्सिफिकेशन इन डेंटल पल्प अफेक्टिंग द ट्रीटमेंट फॉर अ पार्टिकुलर कंडीशन ठीक है जब आप रूट कैनाल ट्रीटमेंट करते हैं तो आपको आपके नॉलेज में होना चाहिए कि व्हाट इज़ द पल्प कैल्सिफिकेशंस difficulty may be encountered during root canal therapy. Okay, there are two types of calcification found in pulp stones and diffuse. Pulp stones, denticles, and diffuse calcification. Pulp stones क्या है? These are calcified nodular masses appearing in both coronal and root portion of the pulp organ. They are usually asymptomatic unless they are impinging on nerves or vessels, calcified according to their structures as true denticles or false denticles. Two types of the denticles present. True denticles similar to structure to dentine, having dentinal tubules and odontoblastic process. Further divided are attached or free according to attachment to wall of the pulp chamber. False denticles composed of localized masses of calcified material without exhibiting dentinal tubules, appears to be made up of the concentric layers of the lamella deposited around the central nidus, may also calcify as attached or free. This is the pulp stones, multiple teeth demonstrating radiographically obvious calcification within the pulp chambers. Pulp stones are within the pulp chamber. Diffuse calcification appears as an irregular calcification deposited in a pulp tissue following a polygenous fibers, bundles or blood vessels present in root canals resembling the calcification seen in other tissues of the body following the degeneration, calcified degeneration. Usual pattern is amorphous, unorganized linear strands paralleling blood vessels or nerves of dental pulp. Morphology of pulp of primary and permanent teeth is varying to a great degree for each individual teeth. One should consider these variations during assesses opening or other procedures to provide proper treatment to a patient. Now, start the morphology of pulp in the primary teeth. In permanent teeth is the complete pulp cavities. We start the uh, morphology of pulp in primary teeth. Difference between the primary and permanent teeth. Number one is the crown width in all directions are large in comparison with root, trunks, and cervicals. The enamel is relatively thin and has a constant depth. ये क्वेश्चन आपके एग्जाम में आता है. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द पल्प कैविटीज प्राइमरी एंड परमानेंट टीथ. फर्स्ट क्या है, लॉन्ग विथ इन ऑल डायरेक्शंस आर लार्जर इन कंपैरिजन विथ रूट ट्रंक्स एंड सर्वाइकल. Second is an enamel is relatively thin and has a constant depth. Dentin thickness between pulp chamber and enamel is limited. The pulp horns are high and pulp chambers are large. Primary roots are narrow and long. There are no clearly defined root canals entrances in the primary teeth. Primary roots are narrow and long. There are no clearly defined root canals entrance in primary teeth. Radicular pulp of primary molars follow a thin, protous and branching pathology. Path. Branching path. In maxillary first premolar, maxillary primary incisors, pulp cavities conforms to general outside surface of the pulp chamber has three slight projections on its incisal border. Single pulp canal continues from chamber with no distinct demarcation between them. Canal tapers evenly until it ends at the apical foramen. In lateral incisors, there is slight demarcation between pulp chamber and canal, especially on labial and lingual aspect. This one. Maxillary canine, there is a little demarcation between pulp chamber and the canal. The canal approaches the apex. Pulp chambers follows the external contour of T. Central pulp horn is projecting incisely. Mesentery first primary molar. Pulp cavity consists of a chamber and three pulp canals corresponding to three roots. Variations from this basic design may be present as anastomosis and branches. The pulp chamber consists of three or four pulp horns forming the surface contour of the tooth. Mesobuccal horn is the largest of pulp horns, occupying a prominent portion of the pulp chamber. Mesolingual pulp horn is second in size, quite angular and sharp. Distrobuccal horn is smallest, sharp, and occupies distrobuccal angle. Occlusal view of the pulp chamber resembles somewhat a triangular with rounded corners. Second molar, the pulp cavity consists of a pulp chamber and three pulp canals corresponding to three roots. These canals leave floor of chamber at the mesobuccal, distrobuccal corners and from lingual area. Pulp chamber has four pulp horns. A fifth horn projecting from lingual aspect of mesolingual horn may be present. Exactly second molar, the mesobuccal pulp horn is the largest, pointed and extends up closely. Mesolingual pulp horn is second in size. When combined with fifth horn, it presents a bulky appearance. Distrobuccal pulp horn is third in size, joining mesolingual pulp horn as a slight elevation. Distrolingual pulp horn is shortest and extends only slightly above occlusal level. Mandibular incisors, pulp chamber is widest, mesodistally are root chamber. Labialingual chamber is widest and zangulum are cervical line. The pulp canal is oval and tapers as it is approaches the apex. There is definite demarcation between pulp chamber and canal in central incisor, which is not present in lateral incisor. Mandibular primary canine, there is no differentiation between chamber and canal. Canal follows the surface form of root is in general and ends in a marked constriction at apical end. The pulp chambers follows external contour of the tooth being as wide mesodistally as labiolingually. Mandibular first primary molar. The pulp cavity contains a chamber and three canals. Mesobuccal and mesolingual canals are confluent and leave the chamber in the form of a ribbon. The distal pulp canals project in ribbon fashion from floor of chamber in distal respect. Mandibular first primary molar, the pulp chamber has four pulp horns. Mesobuccal horn, the largest of the pulp horns, is rounded. Distrobuccal pulp horn is second in area but lacks the height of mesial horns. Mesolingual horn is the third in size and second in height, while distrolingual pulpal horn is the smallest. Occlusal view of pulp chamber is rhomboidal. Mandibular second primary molar. Pulp cavity is made of a chamber and usually three pulp canals. The two basial pulp canals are confluent as a daily floor of the pulp chamber through a common orifice. This common canal soon divides into a large mesobuccal and a smaller mesolingual canal. This constricted in the center. All the three canals tapers as they approach apical foramen conforming to shape of roots. Pulp chamber has 5 purple horns corresponding to 5 cusps. Major pulp horn is smaller than distal horn. Distal buccal horn is smaller than medial horns. The distal horn is shortest and smallest, occupying a position distal to distobuccal horn. Thanks. Any questions? नदीम स्टूडेंट्स को म्यूट करो.
What did you show me?
Any questions?
बिल्कुल पड़ता है क्योंकि एक्टिंग के साथ आदतें होती हैं, कैरेक्टर्स के साथ आदतें हैं, एहसास होता है, तो वो आपके साथ लग भी सकता है अगर आप उसको उतारना ना आता हो. हाँ जी. उतारना पड़ता है हर किरदार. Obviously you have to let go, unleash yourself to get into a different skin. किसी और की कैरेक्टर की स्किन में जाने के लिए, उसको फील करने के लिए, वो अक्सर आप नहीं भी. कभी ऐसा हुआ कि आपसे किरदार खा गया और फिर आपको उसको उतारना पड़ा? नहीं, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अल्लाह ताला ने बहुत रहम किया है कि घर वाले मुझे फौरन जमीन पे ले आते हैं. तो तनकीद करते हैं, तनकीद भी करते हैं और अभी आप आए थे पिछले साल और मुझे उस वक्त लग रहा था, एक ख्याल था मेरा, इसकी बिना पर मैंने आपसे एक मासूमाना सवाल पूछा दोस्तों. वो सवाल क्या सूरत दिखाएं कि जिंदगी में ऐसे स्टेप भी है जो फिरोज खान बिकॉज ऑफ एनी रीजन ये काम छोड़ दें और ये ऐसा.
What is the pulp cavity?
किसी को भी कुछ भी जो मिला है जिंदगी के अंदर, बेशक ये हाथ हो या कुछ भी अल्लाह ताला की है. दैट्स राइट. तो अगर अल्लाह ताला कुछ डिसाइड करते थे मेरे लिए, तो आई डोंट थिंक आई शुड क्वेश्चन दैट. I would just go with the flow. I would be thankful, grateful, and I would just go with the flow.
What is the pulp cavity? Any questions?
Io letteralmente buono la qui.
What is the pulp cavity? Define terms. What is the pulp cavity, pulp chamber, pulp canals? pulp horns, apical foramen, lateral accessory canals, supplementary canal, anastomosis. What is the pulp? Yes, pulp chamber. What is a pulp chamber? This will, okay. What is the pulp canals? What is the pulp horns? What is the pulp horns? Yes, pointed incisary limits of the pulp cavity. Okay. Pulp horns are the pointed incisal occlusal limits of the pulp cavity and pulp chamber. Pulp horns in many cases. Next is the this portion of the pulp cavity. मगर आप मुझे ये बताएं कि apical foramen है क्या? What is the apical foramen? Yeah. Yes. Good. Lateral canals. What is the lateral canals? Directions of the pulp to the periodontal membrane. Okay. Uh, Supplementary canals. What is the supplementary canals? What is the supplementary canals? Yeah. Okay. A root canal or branch which is in the excess of the normal numbers of root canals found in a root. Good. Anastomosis. What is the anastomosis? What anastomosis and extra canal branch. Good. Any question? आप लोग को समझ आ गया है? कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है इस चैप्टर को? आप इसको पढ़ें और उसके बाद नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम होती है तो उसको डिस्कस। इस चैप्टर में से क्वेश्चंस जो हैं ज़्यादा आपके एमसीक्यूज में आते हैं। ओके। Okay, any question? Okay, thank you. Allah Hafiz.